thing that I think that we need to keep in mind as this moves forward, we're talking about right now that currently, the financial staff at Dunn is down to 4, at a time where we're getting emails saying we're cutting your, petty cash system, we're gonna, everything needs to be by demand warrants. They're adding more work to a system with less people, and what that is gonna be such a disaster, and we just have to be smart about it. You can't do it that way. Now is not the time to make a mess, a big mess.
I actually support the idea of trying to find a way to stop petty cash right now in this environment, because we don't have the ability to have any kind of safeguards. And so I'll take some responsibility for that one. I know petty cash is still in people's hands. We've got to do closeouts and all that stuff, and I know that it's a huge difficulty right now. But we could have let's take this one offline. But in this environment, we are in we're sort of in crisis mode on a number of fronts.
But you have talked about the next ones. Okay. Just a
Very
little.
I'd like to start a little change in that direction here, because what we have is not only the presentation you just received, but Dunn is already in conference.
We can't hear
Mr.
back.
Wiseman, please.
We can't hear back.
Can't hear you there yet. You're just gonna have to raise the level.
Thank you.
It's a long way away.
The neighborhood council's treasurers are already meeting with Mr. Kim. They already have more expertise than you have ever had in the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment. They are just one source of a replacement, if we want to call it that, or supplement, if we want to call it that, to what Dunn has been doing. Those treasurers have the ability to do this job, to get us where we need to be with a consistent accounting system that works for everybody. That's a mandatory thing that we've never had. And a review system so that we can review things frequently enough. I don't want to get into the subject of whether we're going to use petty cash or impressed accounts. Let them decide for us. They're there. We don't have to pass any laws through the city council to get this started. We haven't got time to go through RFPs and the usual necessary steps when it is a city council decision. And that's just one example of this. Education and training is something that has been taken to Dunn before, needs to be revisited. Public relations, how do the neighborhood councils get their support from Dunn? We're not gonna have our project directors anymore, or whatever their current name is. I can't keep up with that. They change too fast. We can do that. Grievance processes have been proposed. They have never been finalized and implemented. We don't need an act of God to do this. Maybe we did, but we don't have one. And all of these kinds of things are things that we can start, and I think should be starting right now. Dunn is suffering. There's no question about that. We've been offering, and we're here ready to help them, and I think we can. So let's sort of lay that on the table, in addition to what you're already seeing in the hybrid system.
I know you have treasurers that are certified,
They're CPAs, they're auditors, they're assessors.
So I know you have capacity out there.
I will say, by the way, that tomorrow's bylaws task force meeting is mostly going to be concerned with grievances, and we hope to have it all worked out and ready to present in mid-March. I know, we're talking about it.
Well, and that's what happens,
let's
because
just say
we don't have a
Micromanage things here.
Good.
So things are moving
So
forward.
let me ask you, just full disclosure, the other issue which we're gonna have to struggle with, but I think it's also resolvable, is that anytime you contract out a service, even though we already had previously contracted out elections through the independent election administrator, we now are doing it through the city clerk, and now we actually have to go back to a process with our labor partners. It's good that Julie Butcher is coming and spending time with you. That relationship is gonna be important, right, as we, move forward, because we're gonna need sign off from our labor partners to contract out positions in this process, even in an environment where we don't even have the ability to do the work, right, which is going to be the environment that we're going to be in very soon at Dunn, because, you know, I can give you a little bit more background on the exact sort of movement of staff in the city, which would be, you probably maybe already see it, but it would be good for you to understand it and where that piece of work is gonna be going, so you can see where the future's lying. I don't, so can you explain the idea of there being, so there's a assistant GM or a PR executive, then there's 10 representatives that are operating like a board, or they're operating like staff, or they're operating like some, a team. And then under the team, you'd have 3 admin assistants.
Well, I'm doing the flow chart, so
Right.
that was supposed to connect to all of them. Working in the office would be the PR exec, the government exec, the training exec, the GM and the assistant GM, and the admin assistants.
Yeah.
The town elected officials are sort of part-time staffers, not bound by,
I think if we did a org chart and we did the dotted lines, I think we'd probably get the city attorney much happier with the way we're sort of presenting it. Because there's just a bunch of legal issues related to that.
And I will say
You
that
know?
some of us had a conversation as recently as yesterday about the understanding that, you know, there are work rules, union work rules, there are state labor standards, there are all kinds of things. And I think the understanding is that the volunteers who are working in these teams are not going to direct employees.
Right.
You know, they'll work together, but they'll work through supervisors and all of
So
that.
then you get to the issue of, you know, managing commissions versus advisory commissions, all those different pieces of work. But, you know, again, you know, I think what you're saying is we need to have the will first about what we're looking to do, and then try to bust through to figure out and lots of times the devil is in the details, but that doesn't mean that you don't first start with what you want, right? And then struggle
Couple of
towards that.
things, we all recognize that this department is already shrinking and will
Yeah.
continue to shrink to hopefully no less than 17 positions. We do understand that we want to keep it as a simple department, and that as bad as the, you know, economic crisis is, this too shall pass. And that hopefully there will come a day when we can start adding more to the department. If we need it, says Ms. Simons, but, you know, that's, you know, but that's where we're looking maybe 5 years down the road, maybe 3 years down the road. I think there's no intention to supplant the department. I think that it is important that we are connected to the city government and that we don't become disconnected from it. And the department, to a good extent, is that connection for us. But we also understand that these are extraordinary times. We all need to step up on this, keep what we can, make it better, and hopefully look forward to a little bit of a brighter future. You know, all of this ideally becomes an educational process for everyone, including those folks who are in the department, you know, whose job it is to serve the council